Hi, everyone. Jennifer Coons here, reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library with your Thursday, June 25th COVID check-in. Today, I thought I would share with you a really cool 3D simulation that the New York Times provided back on April 14th in one of their coronavirus informational newsletters. And the reason that I am bringing it up today is that as we're going into this green phase, I'm going to move myself over here. I wanted to just emphasize the importance of social distancing and wearing a face covering as ways of protecting our community against major outbreaks and infections. So, and I thought I would do it this way because it offers a really cool visualization. So we are going to scroll down here, and it's going to start as we move along with these three people. One of them coughs or sneezes. And they're giving you a little introduction here. Scientists who study the transmission of respiratory illnesses like influenza say that infections typically happen when a healthy person comes into contact with respiratory droplets from an infected person's cough, sneeze, or breath. All right. So this simulation, using research data from the Kyoto Institute of Technology, offers one view of what can happen when someone coughs indoors. So this is giving a simulation of what could really, the operative word is could. This is one possibility. And they're using the example of a room that's about 600 square foot, and three people where one person coughs. There are a lot of variables that could be changed in this. Like, it depends. This is all going to depend on the air size of your indoor airspace. Of course, if you're outside, things might be a little bit different. If the humidity is high or low, is it breezy? Are there windows open? All these things are going to change. But this is sort of your basic simulation. So getting back to this blurb here. A cough produces respiratory droplets of varying sizes. Larger droplets, which is going to be the blue, fall to the floor or break up into smaller droplets, which you're going to see are the white. So this is the simulation. The person has coughed or sneezed, and you see these droplets sort of suspended in the air. The blue are beginning to drop to the floor. Right. So a real heavy cough, they're saying, is going to release about a quarter teaspoon of fluid, with droplets dispersing quickly throughout the room. And as I said earlier, this simulation shows they're spread over a minute inside a room of about 600 square feet. And of course, under other conditions, the particles could behave differently. So now we're moving back a little bit, and they're going to start to show us the distances among these three people. And you can see how 6 feet is somewhat protective, and then it tells us the CDC says keeping at least 6 feet away from others can help you avoid contact. That guidance is based on the assumption that transmission mainly occurs through those large droplets that fall in close proximity. So there they are. So you can see 6 feet is offering some protection. Now it's going to show you what can happen to these droplets depending on the airflow of the room. But as the simulation suggests, and scientists have argued, droplets can travel farther than 6 feet, and small droplets, which are the white ones, known as aerosols, can remain suspended or travel through the air before they eventually settle on surfaces. And those aerosols, they are finding just a recent study that came out, I think, yesterday. And again, these studies are coming out real quickly. Some of them aren't peer-reviewed, but so it's like scientists are discovering things in real time. But the latest discovery was that under certain circumstances, these small droplets can stay suspended in the air for up to 16 hours. 16 hours, yes. And again, that's very much dependent upon the indoor environment, temperature, humidity, airflow, things like that. Okay, so here we're moving on with this simulation. We're seeing how these aerosols are traveling through the air. And you see that 6 feet is offering some distance, some good distance, a protective distance. So what they're saying is 6 feet is a point of departure. So Donald K. Milton, who is this infectious aerosol scientist at the University of Maryland, is saying that the way that the droplets travel through the air is more like a continuum. It's not like they automatically stop at 6 feet. They're going to kind of move around in different ways. So it's showing the simulation of how they could be moving around. And now they're giving us a sense of the distances among these 4 people. So 6 feet, 10 feet, 16 feet, 26 feet. Here are the droplets. Here is how they are dispersing in this simulation. So it says researchers at MIT studying coughs and sneezes observed particles from a cough traveling as far as 16 feet. And those from a sneeze could travel as far as 26 feet. Again, these are controlled environments, studies. They could travel, a sneeze can travel as far as 26 feet, but might not always. All right. All of this suggests that keeping a distance of 6 feet or more can greatly reduce the possibility of transmission compared with being closer. The farther you get away, the more diluted it is. So you see how these particles are becoming more diluted. All right, well, now that the particles disappear, but I'll go back. So the more white are the more concentrated particles, and you see how the further away you are, the more diluted they are. So the less likely you are to be infected, or yeah. All right, so now it's going to talk about, so we have coughing and sneezing are one mode of transmission, but also they know that from their studies of influenza that people with mild symptoms or no symptoms can also generate infectious droplets through speaking or breathing. And now there's been a lot of research, very recent research, showing that there are asymptomatic carriers or people who have COVID. I think I talked about it on last week that somebody could be infected and they don't know because they don't feel any symptoms, so they're not going to get tested, or they're not in a community where they would be mandatory testing, like a nursing home or a cruise ship where there was found to be an infection or something like that. So you don't know, and so even talking or breathing your droplets are going to be coming out of your mouth. So this is where, and it's going to show a little simulation of that, and this is where wearing a face covering can help a lot with that. It can help your community. It can help protect you, but it can also help your community. So, and they're giving an example of, let's say a person was infected and they were talking for 5 minutes in a poorly ventilated space, can produce a significant level of viral droplets. So, and it's talking about the face mask. It's going to show a little bit of a simulation here with some aerosols that might come out of the top, but you're decreasing the amount that are coming out. You're offering more protection to those around you. Because as it says, a mask disrupts the trajectory of a cough, sneeze, or breath and captures some respiratory droplets before they can spew out. And it's also saying that the mask can prevent large infectious droplets from landing on the nose and mouth of others around you. So now we have these 3 people wearing their masks, keeping their distance. And the takeaway here, wearing a mask can help protect yourself and others. So if you do need to leave home, wear a mask and be sure to keep your distance. So we are going to be leaving our homes more now. We're transitioning from yellow phase to green phase. There will be restaurants will be open more. And although some businesses and organizations will impose social distancing, it's up to the business on how they're going to do that. So it's just good information to have in your head about how the disease is transmitted, and emphasizing wearing some kind of face covering and just being aware of your distance. So I, again, wanted to bring this to you, even though it was published almost 2 months ago, as we move into the green phase, as a gentle reminder for our community and keeping the infection rate at a level place where it is falling in Pennsylvania, in most parts of Pennsylvania right now. So just being smart and vigilant and thoughtful as we go out to into our communities and participate more. All right. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you next time.